Hello everybody and Merry Christmas! Isn't it crazy? I can't believe it's time for Christmas again. Well, I hope you and your families enjoy this Christmas season. And to start off this Christmas season, we are going to draw a Christmas ornament. And we are going to draw some candy canes with baby Jesus cradled in the bottom. So we all know the true meaning of Christmas is about Jesus' birth. So we are going to draw an ornament reflecting that. And the candy cane, the traditional colors of the candy cane, the red and the red reflecting and representing God's sacrifice when Jesus died on the cross to forgive us our sins, and the white representing the forgiveness of sins and how Jesus takes away our sins when we ask Him into our hearts and for His forgiveness. So I am going to let you know the materials you need for this project, and we are going to start drawing our Christmas ornaments. The materials you're going to need for this project is a piece of white paper from either your drawing pad or a piece of copy paper, your crayons, a pencil and an eraser, and your markers. The first step to drawing our candy cane ornament is drawing the candy cane. Now, I do want you to note that you want to leave a little space at the top so you can draw your Christmas tree branches. Okay, so when you draw your candy cane, you want to make it nice and big, but make sure you leave enough room at the top to draw your Christmas tree branches. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a big letter J. A big letter J. Okay, so let me show you here, and then you can do it. Make sure you're using your pencil for this. Okay, so there I have a big letter J. Now once you have your big J drawn, we're going to go on the inside of that and we're going to draw a smaller one above it. And when we draw it, we're going to try to keep the same distance between our inside and outside J all the way around. So let me show you. Okay, can you see that? So I drew a big letter J and then I drew a smaller letter J inside of that, trying to keep the same distance between my two lines all the way around. Now once you have those two letter J's drawn, all we're going to do is we're going to connect the top and the bottom together with frowny faces, like this. And you should have your candy cane. Now the next step is to draw our baby Jesus. And as you can see, we're going to cradle baby Jesus right here in the hook of our cane. So what we're going to do is we're just going to draw an egg shape. We're going to draw an egg shape, like an oval. So here, I'll show you here quickly. Now I'm pressing pretty hard with my pencil so you guys can see it on camera. I'm using pencil because I need to show you how you can erase some lines here after a bit. So hopefully you can see it on camera, but you do not have to press this hard with your pencil. That way, when you erase your lines, they won't show as well, as much. But see here, what I did is I just drew an egg shape or an oval right down here on top of the hook of my J. And then as you can see, the hook of my J is showing through that egg or that oval. I'm going to take my eraser and just erase this portion right here. And that's what your drawing should look like so far. The next step is to give our little baby Jesus a face. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go to the one end of our oval and we're going to draw a circle. And then inside of that circle, we're just going to give him a little simple smiley face. And there's his little face. And as you can see, I drew my circle at the higher end of my oval along the tall, straight stick of the candy cane. Okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to draw some lines to make it look like he's wrapped up in some swaddling clothes. So I'm going to draw one line at an angle diagonally across my oval like this, and then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to start at this line and just draw a line going up. So you have something that looks like this. So basically what you did, if you look here, you made the letter Y. And now we have our little baby Jesus. The next step is to give our little baby Jesus some hay to lay in. Now, as you can see here, all I did was just make some fun little rectangular or triangular shapes all around baby Jesus. Now, I gave him a lot of hay to sleep in, but you don't have to give him that much. You can give him as much or as little as you want. So I'll show you here. What I did is, again, I just went around and just made a bunch of little fun little rectangular, triangular shapes all around baby Jesus. And you can make them at different shapes, different lengths, or different widths. They don't all have to be the same size because that would make it more realistic looking. So just something like this. And if you see that your candy cane is showing through some of your hay, all you need to do is take your eraser and erase that line of the candy cane. Just like that. And you're good to go. So go ahead and give your baby Jesus a bed of hay. Once you have your hay drawn, we're going to go ahead and put the stripes on our candy cane. And as you can see, I tried to make my stripes about the same width. They're not perfect, but they're close. And I made my lines, I drew my lines at an angle. So it looked like they were really just being wrapped around at an angle and not straight across. So I just started at the top of my candy cane and I just drew my lines across my candy cane at an angle, just trying to keep the same distance between my lines. And then as I came around to the hook, I just drew my lines around my hay. So as you can see, I stopped when I hit the hay and then I went on the other side of the hay and completed my line. And now down here, depending how long and how much hay you gave baby Jesus, you may just see a very little bit of your line. So it just may be a tiny little portion of your line that you're seeing, if you can see, like right there. And then as you come around your hook, your lines are going to go up like that. Let me show you here so you can see. So you can see that the angle of your line changed a little bit as you went around the hook. So go ahead and draw your candy cane lines. Okay, now that we have our candy cane ornament drawn, we're going to go up and we're going to put a little bow at the top here to attach it to the string. So what we're going to do is at the top of your candy cane, you're just going to draw 2 teardrop shapes laying on their side like this. And then you're going to draw another one in the opposite direction. You're just drawing a bow. And then once you have your bow drawn, you're just going to give it some strings like that. And then you'll connect it to your branch after we get our branches drawn. Now that we have our ornament drawn, it's time to start coloring it in. So this is where you want to grab your markers. Now, as you can see, what I did here is I outlined all my pencil lines with marker. So I went in and I outlined my candy cane with red marker because we're going to color our candy cane red and white. And then the hay, I outlined in orange and in brown. Now I used 2 different colors to outline my hay in to just make it a little more interesting and colorful. And then I colored it in with yellow just to make it more bold and more bright and more colorful. And I wanted to make sure those lines of my hay stood out and was seen amongst all the yellow. Okay, and then you can see here I outlined my baby Jesus with blue, and then I used brown for his head and his face. So again, I'm starting with my candy cane, so I'm taking my red marker and I'm just going over all my pencil lines of my candy cane only. My candy cane only. And then once I have this all outlined with my red, I'll set my red marker aside and I'll outline my hay. And you want to make sure that you get all those little tiny lines down along the bottom of the hook, down here too. All those little short ones you might have had to draw. And so there's my candy cane. Now I went ahead and outlined my hay, as you can see here with the brown and the orange. And now I'm going to take my blue marker and outline my baby Jesus. Now you don't have to use blue if you don't want to. I wanted to use a little pop of blue, and plus I wanted it to resemble more of a white cloth, but I didn't want to just keep it all white, so I thought blue would have been a pretty color to use to help that white pop. Okay, and there's the baby Jesus outlined in blue, and now I'm going to get my brown marker and outline the face and the head. And there it is. Okay, once you have everything outlined with your marker, it's time to start coloring everything in. Now, you just need to remember with your candy cane that you want to go skip every other block with your color. So, the top of my candy cane was white, so I made my next block red. And then I wanted to skip one block and keep that white, and then make the next one red. So you're going to color every other one red, and you want to just follow that all the way around. And remember, if you have a little bit of candy cane showing here at the bottom, go ahead and color the red portion in, and make sure you still keep those white portions showing, okay? So again, you're just going white, red, white, red, white, red, all the way around, okay? Once you're done coloring your candy cane, you can go ahead and start coloring in your hay. So I just grabbed my yellow marker and just colored all my hay in with my yellow marker. And then, if you can see here, on my baby Jesus, I actually used my crayons. I used my apricot or my peach colored crayon to color in his face because I didn't have that color of marker. And I didn't want to use such a dark blue, and I did not have a light blue colored marker. So I just got a blue colored crayon and just colored a little shading throughout the white to just make that pop. I didn't color it all blue. I just put a little blue around his head and then across his body, following the angles of my lines to just give it a little more color and texture. So go ahead and have fun coloring in your ornament, and then we'll come back and we'll draw our tree branches. Once you have your ornament all colored in, you want to get your black marker, and you want to come up here and you want to trace over your bow and make that nice and black so that that will be seen, okay? So again, you're just going to take your black marker and you're just going to trace over the pencil lines of your bow so that pops out and can be seen. Just like this. And we'll draw the line attaching it to the tree branch here in a minute after we draw our branches. Now to draw your tree branches, all I did is I took my brown marker, so go ahead and grab your brown marker, and I just started at the top of my paper and I just drew some straight lines coming down from the top of my paper at different angles to make it look like the branches were just hanging. So again, I just went to the top of my paper and I just drew some straight lines coming down across the top of my paper at an angle, making sure one of my lines goes directly above my candy cane so I can attach it to that branch. And you can even come to the side if you want and draw some lines coming down from the side of your paper. And this is going to be, and these are going to be the beginning, of our tree branches. Now you can draw as many as you want. If you're not sure, maybe just start off with 2 or 3, do those, and then you can add more in later if you want. Now we're going to go in and we're going to draw the needles on our branches. And we're going to start by using our green marker. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start here at the back of one of my branches here, my brown lines, and I'm just going to draw random lines coming off one side of my branch. And then I'm going to go to the top of my brown line and I'm just going to draw in the opposite direction more random green lines. These don't have to be perfect because if you look at a Christmas tree branch, the needles kind of just go every which way, All right, and I'm going to do that to every brown line that I drew. So go ahead and draw the needles on your branches. Okay, once you have the needles drawn on your branches with your green marker, we're going to fill these branches up a little bit by using our crayons. So I'm going to take just my green crayon, my regular green crayon, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to color in between all my needles like this and just fill in those white spaces. Now, as you can see, I'm not really worrying about how neat they look because again, these are needles on branches that are just kind of sticking out everywhere. So if you look at your Christmas tree, they're not all perfectly the same length and they kind of just go every which way. So you don't need to worry about having all of this looking nice and perfect. To me, it just looks a little more realistic. So go ahead and take your green crayon and color over the needles of all your branches. Okay, once you have your green colored across your needles of your branches, you want to grab a lighter shade of green. Now this is yellow green. There's also a green yellow. It doesn't really matter, whichever lighter color of green you can find in your crayon box. You're going to take that color and you're going to just color it over top your darker green. And what this is doing is it's blending this green together and it's just kind of filling in those little gaps that might be of white that might be showing through. And it's just making it a little more colorful and brighter. And it's okay if you see a little of the light green in your branches. You just want to go ahead and just color across that dark green and go ahead and do that to all your branches. Once you have all your branches done, it's now time to connect your ornament to your tree. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take your black marker and you're going to start at the center of your bow and draw a straight line up to your tree branch. And now your ornament is hanging on your Christmas tree. I hope you guys enjoyed drawing your Christmas ornaments this month. I really look forward to seeing them when they're all finished. And I hope you and your families have a very blessed and Merry Christmas. And Lord willing, I will see you next year. Take care, guys. Bye.